Real Agents Podcast.
Hey everyone. It's the first episode of a podcast. It's the first episode of a new podcast. Did you just cough? I'll start
I
over.
I did, man, but they
All right.
can edit. They can
Oh my
edit.
God. That's actually fine. We'll leave that in.
Okay.
Hey everyone. This is the first episode of Real Estate Intelligence. I am Nick Baldwin and I'm here with what's your name?
What's up, Nick Baldwin? I'm
Oh, hey.
Tristan. I'm Tristan Ahumada. Nice
Hey,
to meet
what's up? If you guys don't know who we are co-founders of Lab Code Agents. We also dabble in real estate. And real estate intelligence is going to explore how AI is reshaping or just shaping the real estate industry. And we're going to discuss every week what's going on in the world of AI and how it's affecting real estate agents, whether it's going to transform your marketing, streamline your operations. Is it going to boost the economy? I mean, who the heck knows? It's still at its infancy, but it's doing a lot of really great things. Tristan, in your opinion, what do you think about AI? How's it been helping you?
I love AI. And it's funny because my daughter does mock trial. So she goes through these processes. And one student in her mock trial class, just so you could see how it transcends everything at all ages.
Yeah.
One student asked a question to the attorneys that are running this mock trial class. Are we allowed to use AI for these briefs and what we're
For like
doing?
your arguments?
Yeah. And before the head attorney was able to like say yes or no, the side attorney goes, absolutely not. It destroys the environment. You
What?
should. I know. I was like,
How does
who
typing
is
in
this
Chat
person?
GPT
Well,
destroy the environment? Is
that
there
whole
something
thing
out of
about how it uses up a lot of water and then it it
Oh,
it's destroying some of our environment because of the
yeah.
space that it takes up and all the stuff that it eats up. I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
I
look,
gotcha.
I understand that argument, but if we're not doing it, all these other countries are going to jump in and do it. And yes, it's going to eventually change the landscape of real estate agents. But don't be scared, everyone. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Nick and I are
And
like
also, everybody destroys the environment. And all the cool kids are doing it,
all the.
you know?
That's
Just
the greatest response ever.
give into their peer pressure, destroy the environment, use AI. That should be their catchphrase. All right, so we discovered some articles that we want to discuss because
Mhm.
there's things that are trying to there's new tech, prop tech that's trying to remove the real estate agent from the transaction. Personally, I don't feel like I don't feel like that's going to be a very successful route. I feel like if you're buying a house, it's a very emotional transaction.
Mhm.
A robot doesn't have any empathy, doesn't have any feelings yet. Who the heck knows what's coming on down the pipe?
Yep.
But there is an article from Housing Wire that discusses real estate platforms or real estate agent platforms that are utilizing AI completely or just kind of using it somewhat and using a real human being half the time. But this company called Modern Realty,
Mhm.
which launched last year, they're supposedly developing, quote, the ultimate real estate agent by strategically integrating AI while maintaining human oversight for quality control. So it's like, okay, you're going to use AI as your realtor, but we'll have a real realtor, a human, to let you know if the AI is actually giving you proper advice. It's like, wait a minute. Isn't the whole point of using AI so you don't have to use the human? So we have the robot, but we're not 100% convinced the robot knows what it's talking about. So we'll use a
Exactly.
human.
It's stupid. It's too early, man. Here's what I think when we look at modern. It's, by the way, if you're looking to see where it is, it's modernrealtor.co. So take a look.
Modernrealtor.co. Okay, because
Yeah,
the company's called Modern Realty.
you got it.
It's a
And then,
Y Combinator backed startup. Yeah, but
And
what do
you
you
look
think
at the,
about this? I think it's just interesting that like they're touting this AI real estate agent, but they actually need a real person to tell you what's going on.
yeah, I think it's stupid. They're not there yet. Even their site looks like crap. But look, everyone has to start somewhere. I
So
think,
they yeah,
I think
go
at
ahead.
some point, they're not going to be the ones, at least not the way they're at right now if they don't evolve a lot.
Yeah,
But this also has, it's a good argument because somebody can come in. And I envision, Nick, I envision a company like Redfin in the future, very near future, coming in and instead of using, you know how they came in and say, hey, we're going to pay you agents or we're going to pay you a referral, and it's going to be a dramatically discounted referral because we're going to give part of our money back to buyers and sellers. I think it's
right.
going to be a company that comes in and uses AI in partnership with agents that way, dramatically reduces our commission, and then uses AI agents to be able to handle every part of the transaction. And this way, agents are only there as door openers, which I mean, Zillow tried to do for years, but
Yeah.
wasn't able to accomplish. Redfin is failing every year. They're negative. They're struggling right now financially. Who knows if they're even going to make it?
Yeah, I know.
But
I mean, I keep seeing them losing, hundreds of millions of dollars every year.
yeah,
Doesn't make
but
any
I think
sense.
they solve a company that comes in that's a combination Redfin slash AI slash agents, dramatically discounted agents.
Yeah.
I think that's a viable combination. It's not out there right now, but that's the thing. Those are the things we have to be careful for and start thinking, well, what are our values? Because if somebody's going into modernrealtor.co, Nick, I don't know that any real buyer, let me look at this
Yeah.
crappy site again. I
Well,
don't know
hold
that
on.
any real buyer ever used this site. This is
Well, it
crap.
says the company has found that clients are comfortable interacting exclusively with AI until reaching the offer stage, at which point they prefer human involvement for negotiation decisions. It's like, oh, wait, okay, what before you're writing the offer, you're showing homes. So how are these people getting into properties?
I don't know, bro. I don't know that this is an actual real viable
What's their
company.
website say? Does it say anything that I'm leaving out?
Well, at the very beginning, it's like Modern Realty at the top left, and then it says AI real estate agent for home buyers, and then underneath that, simplify disclosures, analyze markets, and craft offers with our AI guided self-service platform. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because I just think it's funny. They have a very rigorous back end process in which a human agent reviews the responses to make sure the AI is not giving consumers bad advice. Yeah, it's like, what, dude? Just use a real human then. It
Yeah.
doesn't it doesn't make it. Okay, so there's another platform for buyers called
Yeah.
Homa, Homa. Is that
Okay.
site launched? Because I went to their site and it looked like they're still kind of working on it. I'm not 100% sure, but it's not a real estate brokerage. So Modern Realty is actually a real estate brokerage. It's a tool that can be utilized by homeowners whether or not they have a buyer agent representative.
Yeah.
So this guides people through the processes. Um, they say that the best that we are going to be able to do is to have the AI be an assistant to those home buyers who are trying to navigate this on their own.
Yeah.
It seems like the AI guides them. It seems like it's very similar to Modern Realty. What am I missing?
The difference is this one straight out saying this is an assistant. So the other one, Modern Realty, isn't saying that. They're trying to tout themselves as something completely different.
Okay,
I
Modern Realty
actually,
is trying to say that it's a full-on real estate agent that's AI.
up to a certain point, yeah. That's
Right.
why they're even calling themselves Modern Realty. Like, what's their next
I
step, right? They're already telling us. This one though, I like the idea, but you know what I think is going to happen? You could totally see this. They're going to fail too because if the moment Zillow decides to turn this on, and I can tell you they're already way past this. The moment Zillow decides to turn all of this on, Homa's done. Like
yeah.
later. So, like, I love this idea because it creates it creates a partnership, almost like a Jarvis, like with you guys, if you're familiar with Iron Man, Iron Man's assistant, Jarvis, right?
Yeah.
Jarvis, help me out. I'm dying. Right? Where's my suit? Anyway, that
Well,
that's
yeah.
like this. It's an assistant.
Um, so Homa is actually one that a realtor can use, I think, with their buyers
Hmm.
because it says Homa's automating lead tracking, client follow-ups, and even scheduling, giving agents more bandwidth for selling. And
Yeah.
the AI algorithms analyze buyer preferences to suggest homes or investment properties that match their needs. Okay, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it. Here's and they break it down pretty easy. You want to take a look at their site, everyone. It's tryhoma, Homa, tryhoma.com. And they break it down into six things. They say, hey, here are the basics. Learn how to represent yourself if you want to do that, pros and cons with or without an agent. We'll help you with the pre-approval. Obviously, they want to help you with the pre-approval. Listen, they want a piece of the loan, right? That's what they want. Home tours, learn how to approach the listing agent and get access to homes without representation, which is kind of stupid.
How do you even do that?
Just call the listing agent and being like, hey, don't worry about it. I can handle myself, right? I've
It's
got
like,
help.
oh, but I'm represented already, or I'm
Yeah,
not represented.
Homa's got my back. You don't need to represent me. Yeah, that's stupid. Uh, Offers, they'll help you with offers. So get the calculations, offer price, setting contingencies, and more. Yeah, you want to really rely on
I'm
AI
not
assist
100%
that
sure
shit.
that this is like a pro agent site
No,
because
no.
it says learn how to represent yourself, the pros and cons of working with an agent, and what red flags to look for.
It's, you know what it is, man. It's like those companies out there that say they're agent friendly, but really
Yeah.
quickly are like, but you don't need an agent. Like open door. Open door is like, no, we're agent friendly. What are you talking about? But you
This
don't
is
need an
crazy.
agent.
This is crazy. It's just what you just said. It says on the website, learn how to, this sounds super sketchy. Learn how to approach the listing agent and get access to homes when representing yourself. Like learn how to learn how to get the listing agent to show you the home without
Unbelievable.
having them represent you. Do you know what line? There is such a fine line that this site is crossing. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
And I
Oh
think
my God.
you're gonna have a lot of companies pop up like this. And a lot of them are going to fail. And I don't know that any of them are actually going to break through if Zillow or
Well, hold on a second
Realtor.com.
because I have something here on Zillow too. You were mentioning this Homa and
Tell
I
me.
said how it analyzes buyer preferences to suggest homes or investment properties. So Zillow has been having some issue lately with getting the consumer to connect with the agents, right? Like it's
Yeah.
because while they have like 200 million users on their site,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's per year. Is that per year or what is that?
No, no,
It's
no.
probably per year.
That's a month.
It's
That's
a
a
month.
month.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's almost every person in the United States. But
Yeah.
they're only catching a tiny fraction of the users that um ever contact an agent
Yeah.
because um listen, if only 4 or 5 million homes are sold and there's 200 plus million people looking, what are the chances, right? So
Yeah.
they have created these AI enhanced recommendations that have boosted engagement by 33%. So that sounds very similar to Homa. So Zillow's using AI driven personalization to bridge the gap between home buyers and agents, more relevant listings, higher engagement, and a better shot at turning casual browsers into buyers. So it sounds like they're actually already doing it.
They are. They're doing it and they're being very quiet about it. But what's going to happen is at some point they're going to push it up front so everyone can see it. Here's how they're using, and I think they're really smart about it. And let's also understand what they're doing. They're always trying to take a piece of the real estate agent commission, so the agent ends up with less and less and less. That's the
For sure.
reality of Zillow,
Yeah.
right? And they're doing a great job. Here's here's what you need to watch out for. They're trying to get the buyer or the seller at a much earlier stage.
Oh yeah.
And they're going to use AI to nurture that process for years because now the average stay of a homeowner in their home
Yeah.
has gone from, remember it used to be like every 6 7 years. It's 11, dude, nationally
Yeah.
11 years.
Why do you think that's is it because of the market or because of COVID? What's the reason?
It's a combination of COVID, right? Hitting then right after the rates. Like, dude,
Oh
nobody
yeah.
wants to
Well,
move.
nobody can right because they're like, well, there's nowhere for me to go. I don't want to pay a 7%
Mhm.
interest rate. That
Mm-mm,
makes
mm-mm.
sense. They say the average first-time buyer usually stayed in their home 4 or 5 years, and now it's what you said it's 11.
Dude, 11 now for everyone that owns a home. That's like the average.
Wow, that's
It's,
yeah.
and you know
Remember when
what?
people used to live in their house for like 50 years, dude?
I do remember, but it was
Like
different then, right?
my
I mean,
grandmother still lives in the same house, the first house she ever bought, dude.
you know what it is? Oh, sidetrack really quick. I just thought
Yeah,
of this, Nick. I think the reason is because back when our grandparents were growing up, marketing was very different and social media didn't exist, the internet didn't exist. And now, because we're being bombarded by our neighbors listing their home, everything on market, it's eye candy. It's like that's the reason I purchase shit on Instagram all day long. I'm like, oh, and visually you're seeing another home, another home. They have this. Oh, we need
yep,
that. Let's get another. That's the problem. Or for us as agents, that's also the benefit. Like, how can we use this, right?
totally. Yep, 100%. All right, let's jump into some more positive news about AI, not companies trying to
Beat
remove
us
the
up.
agent. All right, so Hootsuite just published their social media trends for
Yeah.
2025. Just Google Hootsuite social media trends 2025. For sure, it's very long, 40, 50 something pages.
Mhm.
But it does talk about AI and
Yep.
how
Yep.
it's transitioned from an experimental tool to a major business asset with it's crazy much um how much it's changed in terms of the way marketers view AI. I'm just looking here. Oh, I just passed it. I'm just looking here at my oh, here we go. So
Yeah.
like between 2023 and 2024, um marketers, well, an average of 69% of marketers are now seeing AI um, as a creator of job opportunities. And so for realtors, this suggests that AI can enhance their work rather than replace it. And we'll get into what it can enhance your work with. But so Hootsuite uh, got 3,800 respondents. More than that, actually. I think it's over 5 or 6,000 respondents.
Lot. This is a
Yeah,
good survey.
it's a good survey. So it in using AI to edit and modify images as a real estate agent, gotta be careful with that. There was a 180% growth, um, which is pretty awesome. But I think developing new ideas is what agents need help with the most.
Yeah.
And that saw a 25% increase in
Mhm.
growth in terms of marketers using it to help them come up with content ideas. And that's where I think agents can utilize it the most. Like, hey, go to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. I'm a real estate agent. I live in this town. I sell this type of home. I want to create content for Instagram Reels. Give me 10 ideas that are going viral right now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Write me a
Yep.
script, this, that, and the other. That's seen a big jump, um, since last year, 25%. So if you're not using it for at least coming up with new ideas and content, that's at the very least you should be utilizing ChatGPT or Claude or something along those lines. What do you think?
Yeah. I think I first of all, great find, man. This was a
It's
great,
almost like they knew we were recording this
great.
podcast. Real
Yeah,
quick, before
amazing,
you
amazing
go on with
feedback.
that, I just want to say like Hootsuite in their research they found that brands should be making between 48 and 72 posts a week across all the platforms. It's a lot of work, and that's why you need AI to help you with that.
Yeah, that's very true. And I want to go over one piece of this. They broke down the categories for social media specifically
Yeah.
and how AI is helping into six. And so here they are. If you're not going to read this whole
Yeah, go ahead.
45-page document, everyone. Number one, edit and refine text, right? That's number
Yeah.
one.
Oh, this is what people are using it for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is these are the six categories
Yeah, the six categories. Yeah.
they they did the surveys on. Edit and refine text. So yeah, more people are doing it for that. I know I do. I'm like, hey, is
Oh,
this
for
grammatically
sure.
correct? Like I have dyslexia, so everything's screwed up. So
Yeah.
of course I run it through there. Number two, produce text from scratch. So give it an idea, have it outline. Great.
Yeah.
Number three, completely revise and rewrite text. All right. That's seen
Yeah.
a pretty big growth. Number four, develop new ideas. Like kind of like what you said. Hey, I work here. Give me some ideas. Boom. Right.
Yeah, right.
Number five, edit and modify images. I know we use it, not as much, but we use it for this one. And then lastly, to generate images from scratch, like going to Midjourney and just say, hey,
Yeah.
create
And
Teeny Ninja Turtle.
that's still not that good yet.
It's not. It's
It's
gotten
getting there.
better. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
gotten
definitely gotten better.
dramatically better.
Yeah, it's had an
Um,
86% increase in usage, so that's
yeah,
good.
I
But
think that's go
as a
ahead.
real estate agent, though, you shouldn't really be generating images. You can modify, like you can use AI to show a homeowner or a buyer, hey, this is what this kitchen would look like with stainless appliances, and you can have AI, you know, add in the new appliances, or what would this look like if it was renovated, then modifying an image to show a buyer or a seller what the kitchen could potentially look like if they were to update it. So, but don't be creating your own images of living rooms and kitchens that aren't in your listing.
Well, unless you're going to just use them for ads to bring in
Right,
people,
right, right.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're gonna use it for a Facebook ad. Um,
I like that, man. I like that. I think the surprise for me, because remember, you just sent this to me and I love it. I've already been reading it for a little bit.
yeah.
The surprise for me was there was a page 34. Page 34,
Oh, page 34. Yeah.
it says, good luck posting this much without some AI help. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Oh,
damn.
and then it breaks it down like how much.
Yeah,
Okay, let's break it down.
I love
Optimal.
that.
This is pretty awesome. Optimal posting frequency for brands by social network. You want to go through this?
Yeah, dude. I mean, let's go through it together and you
All
tell
right, so
me.
these are it's got Instagram. So Instagram and Instagram stories are considered two different platforms,
I agree.
which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they
Instagram.
reach two different they reach two different audiences, that's for sure.
Well, on Instagram, they're assuming the feed. So that means you're going to post a picture, words, or a reel. And they're saying 3 to 5 times a week. Do you agree with that? I would say I agree
That's
with that.
actually, I feel like on the low end.
Yeah, but
But
you know,
it's
it's
yeah,
not bad, not bad.
no. It's
That's
almost
actually,
every day if you're gonna I would aim towards the higher end of that.
I agree.
Here's the crazy one. Instagram stories two times a day.
I'm like, dude, isn't that like dramatically low?
You ever go onto someone's Instagram stories and you see there's like 100 stories?
I
Like,
like that because if I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole, I
yeah,
want to know what the hell you were doing. Like if I'm like, oh,
every
wait
second.
a
Yeah.
second, Nick went
I don't
where?
even know
What did
how
he
they're
do?
even doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Facebook 1 to 2 times a day. That I agree with.
yeah.
X 2 to 3 times a day.
No, well,
LinkedIn.
hold on, pause
Yeah.
there, because I'm on X specifically. I try to avoid all the politics,
Yeah.
specifically to follow the influencers in our world that post up
Yeah.
about housing on the
Right.
research side. And they do a
That's
magnificent job. Here's what I've noticed. They don't post 2 to 3 times. It's like 10 times plus a day.
a day.
a day. And I was
Are
like,
they, you think they're
oh,
actually doing that, or they have that? Can you schedule on X? Well,
you
you
can,
probably can't if it's like
yeah,
breaking news.
you can schedule, but like, for example, I follow Lance Lambert from Resi Club. He has a lot of research. He posts, dude, at least 10 times a day. And it's like, hey, here are the rates. Here's what they were 20 years ago. Here's what I found today. And
Oh my God, dude, that's a lot of work.
yeah, and we grab a lot of that and post it in lab codes.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah, so more,
Um,
more.
LinkedIn 1 to 2 times a day, Threads 2 to 3 times a day, similar
Wait,
to
you
X.
use threads? I don't use it as much. What would you say? Threads two to three times a day, okay?
Yeah, I don't post on Threads every single day, but you know, TikTok 3 to 5 times a week. I would say on TikTok,
More.
yeah, if you're trying to grow a following, um, definitely every day, definitely 7 days a week.
I agree.
You need to, yeah, until things start to take off, and then you can go down to like every other day, but really like every day to get started. Pinterest once a week, you know. Google My Business once a week. What do you post on Google My Business?
Great question.
Yeah,
Here's
I
what I
don't know
suggest.
about that.
Here's what I suggest everyone do. By the way, uh, they're wrong. It should not be once a week. It
What,
should
for
be
Pinterest or Google My Business?
Google My Business. It should be once a day. And
Really?
yeah, it should be a listing that you have, a listing that your brokerage has, any one of these, a video, picture where you're going. Think of it as stories, right?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Because what happens is the more you post and you have somewhat good reviews, it pushes you through the Google algorithm up.
Yeah.
So you'll be found. And now the secret is when you're uploading any pictures, anything, make sure that you
Yep.
name the picture like with the keywords that you want people to find you with that are relevant to that picture. That's the secret.
That's interesting. And I would say that Google My Business would probably, yeah, be one of the more important ones considering it's Google. It's right there on the search page and it can people can see
Yep.
exactly what you're doing. All right, so AI is basically helping marketers with writing captions, ad copies, scripts, suggesting hashtags, generating DM replies and comments,
Yeah.
creating images and short videos, coming up with content ideas, drafting outreach emails or proposals for partners and influencers. I think
Mhm.
like if you're going to draft an email to a lead, tell it that, you're following up with this lead, you're a real estate agent, you want to use your language correctly to get a response,
Hmm.
etc.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because social marketers, okay, so there's regulated and heavily regulated and loosely regulated industries. Real estate is definitely a heavily regulated industry. And that's an industry, those are industries that are heavily adapting um, artificial intelligence at a much
I can
higher
tell
rate.
you on that because you mentioned that AI is also commenting, right? A little bit like a few seconds ago, also. And I think the first thing that you and I have seen over the last few years that comes to mind, it's not completely AI, it's more automation,
Yeah.
but I know
Yeah.
it's heading there. It's ManyChat. And
Oh, yeah.
ManyChat does a great job for everyone wondering what people on Instagram are using when they say, hey, I've got this great new listing. If you want all the details on it, comment whatever, right? Comment new listing in the comments, and then automatically they'll send you stuff. That's ManyChat, and I think it's going to get a lot smarter with AI. So depending on what people comment, right, it could also take you through a different funnel with AI depending on who you are, what you do, what you say,
Yeah.
and I'm excited about that, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's gonna be doing a lot of crazy things. And like, honestly, now at this point, um, and they call it generative AI, so don't get like too nervous about that. Generative just means generate, it generates what you need. Um, Basically for your business, it's not a choice anymore. Um, it's not a novelty. It's definitely like should be a fundamental tool. And
Hmm.
um it's no longer an experiment. And
Yeah.
if you are um if you are using generative AI to create social content at scale, then this is
Mhm.
something that you don't have a choice in because you really like it's virtually like at scale 72 times a week over the course of one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, almost 10 platforms. You can't possibly come up with 72 pieces of content on your own. And the cool thing about AI is like it doesn't do all the work, so you still need a human, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And
But as a marketer these days, it does, to brush up on how to talk to ChatGPT, uh, which is actually a good topic for another episode, how to talk to it.
well, yeah, I think next episode we could bring up the company Make. So it's Make, if everyone wants to take a look at it, it's make.com. And there was another one that I was looking at that's similar to Make, which creates all these processes for things that you want to do, like posting to social media. There was another one I was looking at, and I haven't taken a look at it fully. It is
Yeah.
called N, the letter N, 8, the number 8, N. So it's N8N dot IO. And
N8N.I. Okay, what does it have there?
it creates processes for you. Think of it like Zapier, but it's AI, and it once you tell it to do a process like, hey, post to me on social media and create post to me, post for me to Twitter or X daily, 5 times a day, and create the post. And here's how you're going to create it. Here are the guidelines. So you're really telling it to create something out of nothing, but you just initiated it one time. So I'm looking at Make. I've tested out Make, but I've never tested this one and I saved it. It's n8n.io. But take a look at it.
Yeah,
It's
you
fun.
know what we should talk about next time too? We should talk about Operator.
Oh, okay. Good job. Yeah, dude,
Yeah, I
that'd be
don't think I
fun.
have it here on my dashboard for ChatGPT, so I got to figure out how to get it.
Yeah, we can definitely do that, dude. We can talk about Operator, and maybe we can jump in and take a look at some Google things on Gemini. Um,
Yeah,
they have an AI studio
yeah,
website.
we could compare the different types of generative AI platforms like ChatGPT and things like that. There was one other thing I just wanted to touch on that, well, we could talk more about this next time, but one of the biggest challenges with AI is making it sound authentic,
Mhm.
but it's actually possible to train these tools. So some tips you can take into account. Try using the same tools repeatedly. So if you're using ChatGPT, try to exclusively use ChatGPT so it understands the way you're talking to it. Let it know, uh, supply your company's style guide or website to align with your brand standards. Like I said, provide a website to help with promotional messaging. So if you're creating a Facebook ad and you want them to use your website to understand who you are to create that ad, say create this Facebook ad. Here's my website to get some information about me. Um, Specify preferred content formats and structures to maintain consistency.
Mhm.
These are just ways to better train your tools, but we can get more into that next time. I think there's a lot to be talked about in terms of like how to talk to ChatGPT or Claude or even this new one we should talk about, DeepSeek. We should talk about that next time.
Yeah. All right, I agree. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
So thanks for listening to Real Estate Intelligence with the two dumbest guys on the planet. No, just kidding. So we're talking about intelligence, but we're not so smart. Just kidding.
Yeah, listen, we're not AI experts here. We're
Well, what
just
was your takeaway? Okay, we're not like, we're not like Harvard
we have
grads.
fun with AI. We just
I
use
think it's
it.
great.
We wander with it.
What are your final thoughts, Tristan?
Hmm. I think right now in the real estate world, it's an open game, and it's too early to tell who's going to come in and be like, oh, got it, we figured it out. There could be an opportunity for a Zillow to come in, and a brand new competitor that does exactly what I said earlier, or it could be that Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, or CoStar. It could be one of the big companies. And
Good.
I don't know. It's too early to tell. Just that this is why we're doing this, Nick. We want
Yeah.
people to understand what's out there, what's coming, how to use it, and really how to better your skills by understanding what's coming.
What I think is that, AI is not going to replace the agents no matter who tries, but it's definitely going to define our role. So those who embrace the technology are definitely going to gain a competitive edge.
Yeah.
And if you've started using AI tools, let us know. We'd love to hear your experiences. Send us a message on Facebook, drop it in the comments if you're listening on Spotify, because now you can comment, which is kind of cool. And then next time, don't forget to subscribe and download and send it to a friend or loved one. And
A loved one. Send them
yeah,
a love note with the podcast.
send it to a friend, a loved one, an arch nemesis. I don't really care who you send the podcast to.
As long
And we'll
as you're
see.
listening.
Yeah, as long as you're listening. There will be a test. We'll see you on the next episode of Real Estate Intelligence. All right, see you later.
Oh, that's it. Dude, we should start like that. That's a really good one.
Lab Coat Agents Podcast.